Okay, gang. So going over this kit, the Pocket 3 super miniature gimbal stabilized sports cam action cam. It is every bit as cool as you think it is. If you're watching this video, you've probably already watched the company's well-produced video that shows you, the time lapse, the slow-mo, the hyperlapse, all of the cool modes that catch very cool things, and it works. I'll just put it like that. One thing I will tell you is you get each of these in its own little box. You get the cables to plug them in, a couple of little dust covers, and you get a quick start guide on each, the camera and also the remote control. Download the real full owner's manual. If you're thinking about buying it, download the owner's manual. If you've already bought it and it hasn't arrived, definitely download the full owner's manual. Plan to spend some quality time with the owner's manual, because it's the only way you're actually going to use this to its greatest function. If you're stepping up to this level, you're probably at least a semi-pro. So, doggone it, work this thing, man. Good quality optics, shoots well in low light conditions, and again, the slow-mo, the time-lapse, the panoramic, the hyperlapse. All of the typical follow modes you would expect on a gimbal cam, with some specifically for if you're mounting it. And check this out. I just slid it off, and it is Magnet Deluxe, baby. I mean, that is, and it's only connected a little bit here on this. But man, when this is like on the fender of a motorcycle or the hood of a car or something like that, it is there, baby. So very cool, right? Insane. I mean, if that's what you're looking to do, some action work like that, this is as good as it gets. And of course, it does support, with this base, it supports all of the little clamps and straps and whatever that you might already be using with your current action camera. The other thing that you already know it does is that this little handle can clip right onto it for a full system that is smaller than the average, phone. And once the two of them are plugged together, just USB plugged into USB-C, they instantly function as a unit. No pairing required, right? And you've got, pan and tilt, and you can go through the various modes, pan mode, follow, all follow, etc., etc., and away you go, right? What makes this so cool is, if you're like me and you do music videos, you like to take little cameras like this and place them, for instance, on a stand above the drummer, right? This thing is great in low light on stage, and you can use this little thing then on each individual camera to control what it's shooting. Is that cool or what? I like to take these, these little action cams, and I'll strap them up on the headstock of a guitar so you can get that cool shot going, down the fingerboard, close up in the hands. But with this, I haven't done it yet, but I'm so excited about the fact, that I can turn it and get, for instance, other angles of the player, right? I can get his face, for instance, right? It's like, boom, man, now up in his face. I can go out and get the shot of what the audience perspective is, from his angle. What does the audience look like from the guitar player's perspective? I mean, intensely cool stuff. So, and yes, you do not have to use this. Once you've separated this, you can Bluetooth up with your phone and use your phone to do all the connections. Personally, I actually like the simplicity of this. The fact that there's no pairing involved. Man, you just plug them together and turn it on, and they're a group. When you're on a down and dirty, quick session, and you gotta make it work, the simplicity rocks. Okay, elephant in the room. The one thing it does not have, doggone it, feiyutech, why didn't you put a mic port on this? They didn't. The built-in mic, which is just as crappy as the one in this camera I'm using now, is just that little dot right there above USB-C. I guess they're assuming you're going to get all your final audio from somewhere other than your sports cams, and they're usually right. If you're like me, you've already got a little wireless system that looks like this. Everybody does these days, or some version of this. And this little receiver just plugs into your phone, and you got a little wireless clip-on microphone, and bang, man, you've got a great interview audio. Or you can just handhold this little thing, right? You know, talk to yourself, and then point it over at the person you're interviewing. It works great, and all you got to do is plug this little receiver into your phone. However, the receiver needs to be powered. This USB-C only has AC, or I should say 5 volts DC going in. It's not bidirectional, which means when you plug this in, it's not powering the receiver, so it doesn't work, which means for it to work, you actually have to power the receiver, which you can use with a little, battery bank, so that way you can still go anywhere you want with this and just set it down and it works. But doggone it, I wish they would have went ahead and thought to allow bidirectional voltage on this USB-C. I guess they were afraid somebody would plug something into it that sucked an enormous amount of power, and then the gimbal would only work like 40 minutes or something. But, this little receiver will run, till Jesus comes again on one charge from this battery. So, there. The other thing you can do is if, for instance, you are using this as your little, vlogging camera, or maybe your second vlogging camera, or whatever, you want good audio, and you just happen to have a self-powered, decent, USB condenser mic like this. This is self-powered. You can charge it up and it'll run for days on a charge. Yes, this can be plugged directly into the camera, and now you've got this cool little, well, actually, if I were using it as a vlogging camera, we'd put her back on the base. We'd put her back on the tripod, right? And there. Now you've got good audio going to it. And you could even sit here with this out of the camera shot and be, using it to pan and zoom. Pretty cool stuff. I can think of a million uses for this. The obvious one is going to be for sports and music events. But I'm thinking a lot of, just personal vloggers. This is the deal, man. I mean, this is so tiny compared to using your phone and a phone gimbal. There you go. Have fun. Hope this helped you.